camping, wondering where I've been. Now you're wondering. Lost in my own life, when I forget about the ones who have saved me from the night. But when it's all been said and done, I know that I've done you wrong for leaving you behind. Well, maybe I knew all along, but I was trapped in my own mind. Why I lost a friend, not there through thick and thin, wondering where I've been. Now you're wondering why I lost a friend, not there through thick and thin, wondering where I've been. Now you're wondering. Ever since then, I took a step back and had a harder look at what you meant to me. And ever since then, I took a step back and let you off the hook because I had to see. And ever since then, I had to change my point of view. And ever since then, I had to change my point of view. Uno, dos, tres. Why I lost a friend, not there through thick and thin, wondering where I've been. Now you're wondering why I lost a friend, not there through thick and thin, wondering where I've been. Now you're wondering. You're wondering.
You wake up in the morning like, what the fuck happened?
I'm calling it a work.
We do not get it as bad as you guys do, but I still haven't been out much this winter. I don't know if it's a lack of some stuff going on. Everybody's just laying low. People are depressed from not just the weather, but what's going on in the world.
But yeah, just in general, yeah.
But I could use some shows. I'm ready to get back into it. But you, Ryan, you been getting out or not much?
I've been getting out to protests. That's about it.
Yes.
Yeah. I got laid off here a few weeks ago, so I've been plugging in. I started a fundraiser for the ACLU, fightthefourthreich.org. I'm making stickers and prints and shit like that. I've got some contributions from local artists. I've got together. I think I want to start making protest signs too. I'm starting to get better with the software. And I talked to a local print shop, like, be cool to make some badass, foam board signs and everything like that, and have those ready for people to just like, all right, yep, this is the one that I want for the protest. I'm going.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Until the president makes it illegal to protest.
Seriously.
Working on it.
I saw a sign today on my feed. It was a metal sign. Somebody was putting up all over New York City that had a picture of a Cybertruck and it had a picture of somebody dropping their dog poop in it. And it said, drop your dog, whatever, doo-doo here or whatever. Waste, yes. Unless you see Elon Musk, you put that shit right in his mouth. I was like, they put them all over the city, apparently.
You're going to hurt their feelings and end up on a list. Careful.
No, maybe I should cut that. Anyway, I should introduce ourselves and our guests. I'm Jess. You're listening to Ska Talk with Skagazine. Usually there's three of us. Tonight, me and Punk Rock Ryan are going to co-host this and, try to make up for the other segments. We'll do okay.
We got more than band with us tonight, so it's going to be a piece of cake, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, either way, we have 5 people, whatever. Tonight we're here with a band called the Agonizers out of, I always say the Northeast, but because you're from multiple states, right? Connecticut and
Massachusetts. Yeah, 2 of us live in Mass, 2 of us live in Connecticut.
Okay. And then I saw like New England ska and stuff today, and I'm like, it's the whole area, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the show. We're happy to have you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
No problem. It's not very often. How many are in your band? 3 or 4? 4. So there's only 3 of the 4 are here tonight.
Yep.
Yes.
I thought there were 4.
Only 3.
Yeah, we have a rule of 3. Whenever there's a picture or anything, there's usually only 3 of us. So one person can't. I don't know. So we call it the rule of 3. Like
cool.
Pretty much all happens.
That works. So we got Brian. He's on vocals. We got Tom, the drummer, and we got Theo on bass.
Yep,
and I see you waving, but we're not going to share video. Probably.
Yeah.
You guys are out of Connecticut and Massachusetts. How did you guys all come together and start making music?
That's a funny story.
Yeah, it is. So Shane, the guitar player who's not here, I was in bands with him back in like the late '90s, early 2000s. Tom was been playing in bands with Shane since what?
It was like 10 years.
For like 10 years. So me and Shane were in opposite a couple different bands, and we were never playing shows. We were never playing shows. So every time I'd see Shane, he'd be like, "Find a bass player. I have a drummer. We could start a 4-piece. Like, let's just do it, so we could play shows." So finally, one day I got fed up him telling me to find a bass player, so I went on Craigslist and I put up an ad to find a bass player, for like a punk-ska band, and I got a message from Theo actually.
So when we've all been playing in bands since the '90s, and that time period, except for Tom because he's the youngin'.
He's a baby.
Yeah. So Tom was in elementary school and we were all playing shows. But so I happen to be like between projects, and I'll jump on Craigslist every once in a while just to see the musicians list of who's looking for what, and it's usually a strikeout, and it's or it's just cover bands looking for someone who plays drums to cover Skinner and stuff like that around here. But so I see this ad looking for a bass player, for a ska punk band. I think Brian listed like Rancid, Suicide Machines, Op Ivy, stuff like that. And I'm looking at this listing, I'm like, this is exactly the shit that I'm into, right? So like to the T. And I'm like, the first thing that I think of is these are a bunch of 15-year-olds. And here I am like the 40-something-year-old dude. So I send a reply email, and I'm like, hey, this is right up my alley. Just to let you know, what was I like? I don't know, 43. I don't even remember.
Oh, yeah, because I wrote like 21 plus. You're like, I'm over 21 by like 20 years.
Yeah. So just to let you know, here's what you're dealing with. So, but yeah, and then so I sent Brian an email, and then he gets back to me saying, dude, not only are we all in the same age range, but Brian and I actually live in the same town.
Yeah, I live in the fucking same town as
okay.
Theo. I never met him before.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking crazy. Yeah.
Well, to give a little background on that too, not to go off the rails too much. So I like back in the 90s, like, again, bringing up the 90s and, the nostalgic shit. But so Brian and Shane and all them being like more into the ska scene, like back then I was more into the hardcore scene, a little bit of the punk scene as well. So I think we were all going to shows, but like different shows. And there's probably ones where we had been at the same show at the same time. And just never even know, didn't even realize it. But here we are, almost 30 years later. And it's like, oh, hey, let's do a band.
That's great.
Yeah. We got
Brian,
Theo. He fit right in, and that's.
I think we wrote a song the first night.
We literally did that. We literally wrote our like first song, like the first time we got together. Yeah.
So how long ago was that?
2019. It was around like August or something like that. And so we like these guys were saying, we gelled right away. We wrote a song our first practice, and it just the kind of like we just hit the ground running with it. And so we just started writing songs and getting ready, like most bands do. You get together, you start writing songs, and if things are working out, you're like, okay, well, let's get enough material so we can start playing out, because that's ultimately the goal. Play shows, and then put out records, whatever. So we so we started in, I think it was August 2019, and then that was before the world changed.
Yeah, and then our first show was March of 2020.
Yeah. COVID canceled our very first show.
It did.
Right.
The lockdown happened. The day of the lockdown was the day of our first show.
Me and Shane were
Oh,
driving.
shit. It sucks.
We were literally on the highway up to Massachusetts, and we're getting all the text messages like, "Hey, we're not coming. Nobody's showing up."
Yeah, the club shut down.
Yeah.
Like we tried to move it to another place, and they were like, "Oh, now they're not. Now they said they're not going to do it. They're too scared."
Yep.
And that's so. We did. So then we didn't play for over a year. Yeah. So we're going to play our first show.
You specifically wanted to start a band that would play shows. You said
Exactly. Exactly.
That must have really sucked.
Welcome to the Agonizers.
So is
By
that
the
where
time
the
you
name
play.
came from?
that
Kinda.
is, I mean,
That has a little bit to do with it.
Yeah.
Just, because I think we were at practice one day and Shane, our guitar player, he said something about like, we're agonizing over this or that. We're talking about writing a song
We
or
had
something.
spent 3 months trying to think of a name.
yeah,
Yeah.
we were saying like that's the hardest part of being in a band is coming up with the name
Yeah.
of the band.
Something that doesn't suck and something that hasn't been already taken.
I thought that was you, because you came to practice and you were like, "What are you guys doing?" We were agonizing over coming up with a band name. And
Yeah,
he was
and
like,
then I was like,
"You guys are a bunch of agonizers, huh?" And we all looked at each other like,
That's it.
"Is that a name?"
Yeah.
And we looked it up.
Yeah.
Like nobody has that name. Like, yes,
Yes.
that's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. So, but yeah, it was a interesting way to start off, to have that much time before playing your first show. So we just wrote a ton of shit. Like we wrote songs that some people have never heard, some people may never hear.
You're never gonna hear those songs.
But it was kind of we look at it as like a blessing in disguise, where we had all this time just to write and like
Practice.
like,
We just
and-
practice.
yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
like I said, usually when you start a band, like you're like, oh, we got enough songs to play a show. Let's play a show. But like we got to practice for like a whole year without playing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it really helped us just like, become the band that we are, and like, just put on a great show because we were so practiced before we played our first show.
The hardest part was when we were writing, you don't have the ability to shop songs to crowds and see what gives good reactions, bad reactions.
Yeah.
So without that, we just had to like go by our own ear.
Yeah. But
and
like
break
we
down songs.
But like we like it, so
Yeah.
hopefully other people do too.
And you released your first EP in October of 2020, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So you used the time wisely, I take it.
Yeah. One
You
of the
got
first
that
things we did
recorded
was
and
Yeah.
one of the first things we did was hit the studio and then
nice.
get the record pressed and
Yeah, you got it on
kinda
vinyl
listened
too.
on it.
I was like, I didn't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
I found that out today, and I'm a vinyl
Yep.
collector. So, do you have any of those?
Nice.
left?
Oh yeah.
We
Yep.
got a few.
Yeah.
We got a few. So
Good
yeah,
to know.
that EP is still available on 7-inch and on all like the streaming platforms.
Yeah, we'll definitely get you one.
It's a pretty variant too. I saw that. I was like, nice,
Who doesn't love colored vinyl, right?
right?
And
That
now
was
to
good.
buy
I don't
vinyl
agree.
just for the colors. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We call
I
it
have
Admiral
multiples of
Akbar.
albums.
That's the color. It's the color of Admiral Akbar.
If you squished it.
So
Nice. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, we're Star Wars.
That's
We're
awesome.
Star Wars nerds.
And that was self-released, I assume. You did this all yourself.
Yep.
Yeah, actually, we're both of our releases, the 7-inch EP and the full length, have both been DIY releases. So, no record labels. Not that we're opposed to that, but
Mhm.
so far,
Yeah, we're a pretty DIY band just in general. Like most of the merch that we have, we make ourselves.
Sweet.
Shane, the guitar player, like he makes the buttons. He presses his own t-shirts. Like, yeah, we do like patches. Most of the stuff that we sell, like we pretty much made ourselves. So
Patches,
Nice.
keychains.
Is that all for
Jane,
sale?
yeah.
Yep. Or do you just
Yeah.
take it to
So-
shows with you?
most of the merch is at shows only.
Okay.
Bandcamp is kind of like really limited to mostly music, and then I think
we have
There
the
might
shirt.
be
We
a-
sell like our handshake logo shirt.
like one of the most popular shirt design that we have. People can order that. So the online sale thing is kind of like, because we're just doing it all ourselves. It's like
Mhm.
we're not too heavy on the online sales. I mean, if people reach out to us and they're like, "Hey, do you guys have stuff?" We'll take it up one-on-one with someone who wants to buy stuff, and we'll let them know what we have. And because obviously someone in
Oh.
California or Texas can't come out to a show in Connecticut or Mass, so it's like, all
they
right,
could.
well, they could if they really wanted to. They
Yeah,
could
if
be
they really
everywhere.
like the band, they would come out to Connecticut or Mass.
I mean,
Yeah,
if
I
they're
mean,
anything
fly
like
out.
me, I am not flying right now.
Mhm.
Well, Tom barely wanted to leave his house to come here. So.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, seriously.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. So I really, really like how Brian earlier said you're a punk ska band. You didn't say ska punk, you said punk ska, and I think that's really important.
Yeah,
Came
We're punk
first
first.
because
Yeah.
you obviously have a very punk background and influence.
Yeah.
We
I
love
mean,
it.
well, it's funny. Like, I'm really like a ska kid. Like, really, I found punk through ska. Actually, like, I didn't listen.
Really?
I started listening to ska first before I got into punk music. But Tom's the opposite. He's like he was a
Yeah.
punk kid first, and
Mhm.
and Theo's more. Me and Shane are more of the ska kids, and
Yeah.
Theo and Tom
Okay.
are like the punk guys.
See,
Yeah,
that's why we have a good balance.
exactly.
There you
Perfectly
go.
balanced. All things should be.
And we usually push the punk first because we don't have horns. So I
Yeah.
mean, you know, like it's a
Right.
little bit more it's a little bit more difficult
Not all
without
ska
the
bands
horn.
have horns, right?
Well, yes, but all
Do
the
you
popular
do
ones.
you want to
do.
add horns at some point? Is that what you're saying?
I like horns. I love horns, but more people, more problems.
We'd
in
be
the
more
band.
likely to add a second guitarist.
For real.
Horns.
I mean, we've talked. Probably the extent of that is maybe like, you know, if we're going back into the studio and if there's a song where it
Right.
fits, maybe having like a guest player come on and do a track. But
Yep.
you know, for the
Makes
most
sense.
part, I think we've come to realize, you know, we've been a band for 5 years, well, over 5 years now, and you know, the 4-piece combination we have now just really works well. We toyed with the idea of a second guitar player, but even that really didn't go that far.
Okay. I mean, you sound good the way you are.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Was it like
absolutely.
implying you needed the horns? Like, no, not at all. Maybe for fun, at least, you know, they're in the crowd,
Well,
come up and play.
Speaking of that, I mean, we were voted by the Hard Times as Connecticut's best ska band.
It's
Yes, we were.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Awesome.
That
I,
ruffled a few
I
feathers.
remember that list coming
Pissed
out.
a
I
lot of
believe.
people off. Yeah.
I can't remember who was on that list, but I do remember seeing it now. I have to look at it. Catbite better have been
Yeah.
one on the
I was
PI.
like, it's the hard times, guys. Calm down.
No, but still, do you know how many people look at that?
Yeah. Some people in the comment section forgot it's a satire site.
Yes.
So you guys mentioned Op Ivy, Suicide Machines, NoFX as some of your influences. Who were some of the other guys that you guys listened to growing up and has had an influence on your music?
I'd say, I mean, a lot of the Connecticut ska bands that I used to like back in the day, Spring Hill Jack, Johnny Too Bad and the Strikeouts, and then like my personal favorite, who I just saw this past weekend, Cooley Ranks. I saw Pilfer, and like Cooley Ranks is like my, like I followed when I was younger. I followed Pilfers around like they were the Dead. Like I literally did. Like I just followed them around like they were the Dead. They were like my favorite. There was nothing like a Pilfer show back in the 90s, man. It was insanity. What about you, man?
I don't know. I'm pretty generic. It was like Green Day, Blink, Alkaline Trio, anything that had good drums. That's all. That's that too.
Oh man, and Derek Grant, best drummer, man. I miss him.
Yeah, you know, one of the cool things about the band too is like we all have our own influences too. So it's not like we're all listening to the exact same thing. So that helps us not just be like a band that sounds like every other band. At least we try not to. And like, you know, I was saying earlier, I was like a 12-year-old metalhead, and I started getting into like the hardcore scene when I was old enough to go to shows around Western Mass, you know, going to like Pearl Street or Katina's, also known as the Vertex out in Hadley, which is long since closed. But so I started getting into hardcore bands like, you know, Victory Records bands, stuff like that. And older like Revelation Records stuff like Gorilla Biscuits, Youth of Today. So that was like my real introduction into like the world of punk rock, and that, you know, all those bands just even now, it's like when I get in my car and, you know, start playing stuff, it's like that stuff is all still in heavy rotation. But, you know, when we all come to the table, it's like we're not trying to play too much of a crazy mix of, you know, oh, let's do a hardcore part or let's do this. It just, you know, we play what we think sounds good. And so we do draw from the influences. Like I'll come up with like a bass line or something, or Shane will come up with a guitar part, and we'll just kind of go from there. It's, you know, we don't have one person that just writes everything and says, all right, guys, this is what we're playing. And, you know, I've been in bands like that where you feel like a hired gun, you know, someone just telling you what to play and how to play it. And the cool thing is about this band is we all draw from our own influences and bring it to the table. And if it sucks, if one person that really hates it, we usually don't play it.
Yeah, and a lot of times too, we'll have something where like this was pretty good, and the next week we'll come back from listening to it and like, yeah, it's not that great. We're going to change everything about this.
especially
So
Shane.
you're all part of the creative process and writing your own parts, is what you're saying, basically.
Yeah, that's what's great
Yeah.
about the band. Like, and nobody like has an ego, and nobody's like, oh, that's my lyrics or that's my part. Like,
Oh yeah, do you all like split and write the lyrics too?
I mean, me and Shane mostly write the lyrics.
Okay.
But again, like it's not
Anybody
because
could.
of like we only write the lyrics. It's just that's just the way it kind of usually works out.
That's
Like,
cool.
yeah, I said that's what I like. Like, you know, I'll write something and Shane will be like, oh, why don't you change this or say that? And I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds cool. Like, I'm not like, no, like this is my
Mhm.
this is my baby. You can't touch it. Like,
Yeah.
that's like I said, that's what I really like writing with these guys. Like, it's just again, it's just full collab, and you know, we just get the song to where we think it just sounds the best. Like, and no egos, no like, just it's all for the good of the band, basically.
Yeah. You know, we go through the normal shit too of like, you know, if we have disagreements, you know, sometimes some of us butt heads on, you know, whether it's Shane and I deciding musically like what sounds good for guitar bass line, or, you know, Shane and Tom like trying to, you know, figure out how a drum part should go with a guitar part. And sometimes, you know, like it doesn't get to the point where like we get pissed at each other. Like we'll debate it, but no one's, like Brian said, there's no egos taking over where someone's going to get butthurt and walk out or just like stomp their feet and say, you know, it's my way or whatever.
And
So
we'll always try everything.
Yeah,
if
we
Sam
do.
has an idea,
Yeah.
we're going to try it. It
Yeah.
might sound terrible. It might sound good. Who knows?
yeah, so it helps.
I have a question for Theo.
Okay.
It's a fan question or a listener question, and I should say.
Okay.
Fan of yours, I take it. I'm getting there. I'm really struggling.
Yeah, bass tone.
Sorry. It was from Aaron from Power Up.
Yeah.
Hey, Aaron.
He wanted to know. Oh, I shouldn't have told you who it was from. I wanted you to guess. He wants
Doesn't
to know,
matter. He's gonna ask what bass tone.
Theo, will you ever play the backline bass? I believe.
Nope.
Never.
No.
Not once.
What's the story there?
Whenever possible, I always bring my own rig. I just, you know, I have my sound that I like, and I've had, you know, negative experiences over the years playing house equipment or backline equipment. I've also had a bad experience sharing equipment. So like nowadays when, you know, when shows get put together, usually a side chat on Instagram or something is put together for everyone to talk about backline share, like gear share and stuff. And it's, you know, we're like, all right, the Agonizers, not to be dicks, but we don't share because you know, we've had equipment damaged, and it's like, you know, I don't want to have to go chasing down some other band's bass player because of something that happened. And it's, you know, so, you know, that it is kind of it's almost like a joke we have now, but yeah, most of it's sound related. I just, you know, I like the way my stuff sounds, and I'd rather carry my stuff up 2 flights of stairs just to use my own thing.
And there you have it, Aaron. There's your answer.
I, on the other hand,
Yeah.
disagree.
Has he tried to get you to use it?
I don't even remember.
I know.
Oh, I'm sure he has.
I know he put shows together.
You used the cab at Scottish Dave's once.
Yeah. And like I said, there's been a couple times where I've used backline based stuff, and it's just, you know, for one reason or another, it's just there's more times it hasn't worked out than it has. So
That's the best.
Yeah.
That's the best. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you for that.
That's funny. Like usually, like I'm pretty easygoing, but these guys, like the most pissed off they've ever seen me is when there's been equipment failures while we're playing, or right
Things not going to schedule.
Well,
and equipment failures.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Sounds like some
Just run
traumatic
pump time.
shenanigans. Doesn't it, Ryan? Shenanigans?
It kind of does. That does seem like
Traumatic,
a good
though. I feel like we could use some more fun.
So we've
do
got a
this
segment
stuff-
on the show where we like to talk about old tour stories, whether it be funny, traumatic, or anything in between. So whether you want to talk about backline equipment or anything else, that's up to you guys.
Well, we haven't actually gone on tour. We've done a couple, like, you know, kind of drive outs to other states and everything. But so sometimes the funny stuff comes from parking or trying to find the venue. And Tom's Tom's first drive to New York.
That was miserable.
You could talk about
Driving
that,
to New
but-
York was I hated it. I refused to drive to New York after that one show.
What about
that was
New
New
York,
York, right?
Yeah, it was autos.
Yeah, so we played Autos, Shrunken Head, and super fun show. And obviously, Autos is a great venue.
Yeah, it was like a 3-hour drive down, 4-hour drive back.
But Tom trying to park, that was we can look back and laugh now.
Yeah,
But so now Brian's the designated driver because Tom gets too mad about it.
Yeah,
Trying to park and find
I'm the far driver now.
Yeah.
I made the
Shane-
mistake of driving into New York, I don't know, last fall. And the suicide machines are lucky I love them because I would only do it for that. I will never do that again. I drove over like 5 bridges. I saw somebody get hit by a car. It took me 6 hours to get where I was going. Like, I'm exaggerating, but I mean, come on, never again. And the venue closed
Theo
down.
was the only smart one for that show. Theo took the train down. and
Yeah.
stayed
Oh
there.
yeah, that's right. Actually, I did use backline gear that night.
Yeah.
I did. I used the
Aaron,
terrible.
different
terrible
answer,
face
different
mask.
answer.
Yeah. I took the train. Took the train with my girlfriend the night before. We grabbed a hotel and I just brought my bass and played the backline crappy amp and
Yeah.
made it sound halfway
You did
decent
it.
and we got through.
Yeah, it seems like that wouldn't be the strangest thing that you would see on a New York train.
No.
Throw that out there.
Yeah. Trying to think if there's any other stories from going to different shows or
It could
anything.
be any show. It doesn't have to be a tour, show story, fan experience. I mean, it could be any type of interesting story about your time together with the band.
Or I mean, definitely people at shows, always interesting people at shows like that it was like a soap opera we were watching at Dave's that night. This girl was like fighting with her boyfriend and it was like so compelling to us. We were just like sitting there like watching it, like talking on the phone. She was like,
It was the best because it started out in the front of the bar and then they went inside and I was like, I have to see the rest
yeah,
of
we were like
this.
following it. It was like we were watching TV. It was like we were watching TV.
Yeah, and then they moved
Part
back to
two.
the bar.
She was like, "Oh, I just blew the other guy. I didn't think you were gonna care." Or I don't know. It was.
Oh goodness.
Oh my god! It was some great drama. Yeah, it was better than TV. Yeah. But yeah, you always find some great people at shows like that.
Awesome people watching at shows.
That reminds me of Jay and Silent Bob when George Carlin like jumps in the truck. They get shot in the mouth. They get a few miles down the road.
That's the first rule of the book.
It's funny you mentioned that because if you guys probably don't follow my personal Instagram, but I just I made a little picture. They got that picture of Elon and Trump in the Tesla from the other day when Trump was trying to talk, say he was going to buy a Tesla from Elon, and they had it out in front of the White House. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with this picture or not, but so it's Trump in the driver's seat and Elon sitting next to him with this grin on his face. So I got the picture of George Carlin and the truck driver, and I just put, "It's the unwritten rule of the road."
I have not.
Oh.
It's funny though.
I gotta
Well,
get
good-
that.
good
From
Jay
you.
and
I want to
Silent
make
Bob,
that a
man.
sticker.
Yeah, good reference though. Good reference. Because what's funny is I always Shane and Tom are notorious for once we get to a venue that we're playing and we load in and we have a lot of time to kill. Shane and Tom usually go outside the venue, find a good spot, smoke a cigarette, whatever. So like those two are definitely like Jay and Silent Bob, like outside the quick stop, 100%.
Hell yeah.
Outside the venue is the best part.
Yeah, that's how Tom judges venues, how good the outside is.
Awesome.
Too crowded
So
inside.
which venue has the best outside? I need to know.
Wow.
We were just kind of
Did
talking
we say
about that.
Cherry Street was our?
Yeah, there's a
Livestock?
place called Cherry Street Station in Wallingford, Connecticut. That's like probably got the best like outdoor.
Yeah, it's got an awesome outdoor
spot.
back patio.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Cool.
It's just a great like punk dive bar. Like it's awesome.
Trying to think of who has the best outside? I don't know. It's not like anything like spectacular, but I love Broken Goblets outside just because it feels like home to me, and I'm always hanging there.
There you go.
Yes, that's we gotta get down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Broken Goblin as a venue as a whole is just
It's a
phenomenal.
vibe. Is it
I
not a
mean,
vibe?
yeah, there's no barrier in front of the stage, so you can get close to the bands. But it's a great stage. It's huge. There's plenty of room for them. There's a huge dance floor. You've got the balcony up there too. That you can hang out up there and get like a VIP type view if you want to. And yeah,
You now have the mixing room, the other bar area where you can escape to if you just need to rest. There's like
Yep.
like lounge areas, and they have food over there and different drinks, and like it's just the best place. I'm biased because I live 15 minutes from there and I'm always
Yes.
but like having This Is Not Croydon Fest and all of my ska family and friends coming in at the same time, like it's just awesome. I love it.
Oh yeah,
It's happening in 44 days.
I know that's
Have
it's
you
a
ever
great,
been there?
great lineup too. I've never been to Croydon, no, unfortunately.
Put it on your list.
well, good because
do,
it's
yes.
not Croydon.
Yes.
We do call it Croydon though.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I have never been, but yes, I do want to go. I've never been to a lot of the big I've never been to Supernova either, which is something that I would really like to do.
I've only been there once and it was amazing. And I plan to go
Yeah.
back this year.
Yeah,
What
it was
about camp? You guys
was
got a camp?
I'm down to camp.
No, Camp Pennsylvania, I mean.
Oh, Camp Pennsylvania? I've never been there either.
No? Okay.
No.
Yeah, there's some
I've
things
never
to
been
put
anywhere.
on your list. If you want to get a little bit further down the East Coast, but there's 3 things on your list.
Yeah,
Looking
it's hard. It's sometimes hard to get to shows that we're not playing. So
No, that's what I mean. Put them on your list to like submit for.
I've submitted for not to say anything, but I've submitted for Camp Pennsylvania every year we've been a band. So
Really?
if you can make it happen, I would love that.
I have no clout at all, and
You got clout.
Oh shit!
But yeah, like I said, we try to get. I mean, like I said, I apply us for anything and everything that to try to get on. So, like I said, that's pretty much what we're kind of trying to do this year is just like branch out from Connecticut and Massachusetts.
Yeah, keep doing it.
And we're mostly play. Yeah.
I mean, you played. Did you not play SPI Fest last year?
We did. Yep, we
I
played
thought.
SPI Fest. That was
a
awesome.
sick festival, right?
Yeah, that was really really awesome. Again, it was in Connecticut though. That's why.
Right. I know, but still, played with a lot of.
That was a great experience, a great time. I was like floored with the vibe and just people came out like right away.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
we played at like 2:30 in the afternoon, and it was really crowded.
And it was like a Friday, like on a Friday too. And it was like not during the. It was like in May. I was like, people were there like right away, like even for Checkered Pass, the Skodcast like did their thing first, and like, there was mad people watching them like right at the beginning. I was like,
they did awesome. Like what, live interviews or something?
They did a live podcast, like to start off this SPI Fest. Yeah.
Yep.
Things are going. We're actually doing live interviews at This Is Not Croydon Fest.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Can't wait to hear them. But yeah,
actually, when I say live, I don't know if we're gonna put them live at the moment. We'll probably publish.
You mean you're gonna interview people there? Yes.
Yeah, but maybe we'll hop on a couple Instagram lives. I don't know. I haven't thought about that, but that's on the agenda. I was going somewhere and I forget where it was. Oh, we were talking about the festivals up there. There's other ones too, other ska festivals, right?
Yeah, we are going to be playing.
Is that one?
We're going to be playing, in July, Pioneer Valley Ska Fest it's July 25th and 26th. We're going to be playing the second day. So yeah, it's Catch 22, Spring Heel Jack, The Pomps, Sergeant Scagnetti, Power Up.
And old Western Mass ska band
Scarmy of Darkness.
Yep.
Oh, I want to listen to them. I'm going to remind myself right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that they haven't played in forever, and this is a one-time only.
Yeah, reunion
that they're going to do. And my buddy Joey plays guitar for them, and it's funny watching him post like he's like, "Oh, I had to hold a guitar for an hour. My back hurts." But that'll be something that'll be worth. Like Brian rattled off some of the headliners there. It's going to be awesome. So
yeah, last year we played it. Last year it was only one day. And it
Oh, is
was
it 2 days
so.
this year?
This year they're doing
Okay.
2 days this year. Yeah, more bands. Like
Huh.
yeah, last year was awesome. It's in a different place. It's in Springfield, Mass. This year again, I love it. It's like 15 minutes away from where I live, so like,
Awesome.
how could it be any better than that? But yeah, like that is going to be Pioneer Valley Ska Fest, 413 Ska. If you don't follow him, follow him. He puts on amazing shows. His name's Eric. He does great work. Like, again, supports the scene in Massachusetts. The two promoters that we that really do a lot for ska in Mass and Connecticut are 413 Ska and then CT Ska Gary. I'm not sure if you know
Yes,
Gary.
I know Gary.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
Gary
Gary's
at
awesome.
Supernova. And
Yep,
we
of
met
course.
because of my kid. He kept walking around calling him famous kid, famous kid, famous kid. And he
Yes.
did that because he was on the stage with the Suicide Machine singing. So every time
Yes.
he saw him, he was like, famous kid. That's how me
Oh
and
my
Gary
God.
met. So
Yeah, like
he's a
you
great
are.
singer.
Yeah, that makes me so happy to see. Like, I was like, you are. That is so awesome. Like, I wish like my kids would like love to do that, but they're like, yeah, whatever, Dad. Like,
I mean,
You're
he's
so
an only
lame.
child, so he pretty much just hangs with me and my husband. So he just takes in what we listen to, I guess. And he
no,
loves
that's
it.
awesome. Like, I love it. I love to see it. I love
Mhm.
to see it.
So
But
that's cool.
that's a younger festival, isn't it? It's only like what, second, third year?
It's on the second year. Yeah, last year
Second
was the
year,
first year. Yeah, this is the second one. Like I said, and it got bigger this year. So,
Mhm. Yeah, it
like I
seems
said,
like the scene up there is really healthy. Honestly, I see it.
yeah, there's a lot of great bands, and there's just the scene basically is Connecticut and like Mass, like Western Mass mostly in Connecticut. I mean, yes, Eastern Mass too, but like a lot of bands when they come play here with us, they're like, "Oh my God, we fucking love you guys! Like, we love to play here. Like, everybody's so nice, and like everybody just like helps each other, and that's the way it is. Like, that's the way we like it up here. Like I said, we all are very supportive. Like, again, we're about high tides raises all boats. Like if one person's doing good, like we all want to do good. Like that's the
Mhm.
only way to build the scene. That's the only way to build the community, and that's what we love about up here.
Well, that's
And
what
then we love that, like
about,
when
right?
bands come, they like see it.
I haven't been up there. I have to make a trip up that way.
Yeah, I mean, you should try to come up to Pioneer Valley, man.
What
It's
are the
gonna be
dates for that again?
July 25th and 26th.
Oh, that's possible. It might be possible. I don't know.
You definitely should think about it because it's going to be a
Because I
real
don't
good
think
time.
it's that far from me. I don't know, what, 4 hours? I'm guessing
It's
from
doable.
Philly.
Yeah, it's yeah. I don't think it's that far.
Do
Do
it.
it. Do it.
Do
Ryan,
it.
meet me there. Meet me there.
A little bit further from Michigan.
Peer pressure.
It's only like a 15-hour drive.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Did
No,
I ask
that's
somebody
a
who
struggle
plays-
that I really have here in Central Michigan is there is no scene. I mean, we've got a ton of talented musicians. There's no lack of there, but there's not solid venues. There's not a place for people to play. You got to go 2 hours to see much anything or do much anything, and there's nothing that's really established. So the fact that I live in a college town, I mean, CMU was hailed as like one of the biggest partying colleges in the U.S., and there's not shit for shows for local bands, and it drives me absolutely nuts.
I never knew you lived in a college town. I just learned this today.
Yeah.
Do they have
Supposed to be some
basements
of the
where you
wildest
live?
partiers?
Are there
But
basements where you live?
is there what?
Are there basements where you live?
Well, Michigan basements, yeah.
I don't know. Like some places have basements, some do not.
No,
So,
it's something that doesn't
You
happen because
You need to be getting with these college kids and playing in some basement shows, dude. That's what you need to do.
Yeah, that's
Damn.
what we want to do too.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do up here. There's like the basement college scene up here is like insanity. Like it
College
just like
basement shows are the best. I can't believe I
Yeah.
didn't know you lived in a college town.
yep.
So we'll walk in and be like, "Who invited their dad?"
My dad threw this party.
I'm gonna tell everybody you're my dad.
There we go.
Yeah, this is
You have
Shark
more
Tank,
crazy
Ryan.
years.
You just found your calling.
Right. No, I actually just got appointed as concert committee chair for the local theater, so that way I can actually start bringing bands to the scene
Nice.
Nice.
around here. So it's going to be like a 400-seat venue that's got a balcony up there. It's going to be seated for the most part because it's a theater, but there'll be a backdrop for bands to put on whatever they want. Pretty good space for dancing, huge stage and everything. I'm really excited about putting it together so that way, we can have places that we can go and, we can do what we do.
Yeah, we all
Hell
need
yeah.
that.
Music is life.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Life and therapy.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Like I said, if I didn't do it, I wouldn't be here right now.
So I tell everybody at work my Thursday is my group therapy session.
Yep.
Yeah. Band practice.
Is that
night.
practice
Yeah.
night?
Yeah, every
Yep.
Thursday. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, it's sometimes, like, oh, go ahead.
No, good.
I was just gonna say, like, we're all talking, kind of like joking about our ages and everything. Like, I'm in my late 40s now, and it's, sometimes it's funny because you go to work and you talk to like other people your age, and you hear everyone like they kind of a lot of them have the same like kind of mundane, rituals, and it's like, oh, what'd you do? I played a show. Like, oh, because where I work, a lot of the guys know that I'm a musician and everything like that, but like they don't really know unless they come to a show how it actually is, and it's it's a release that you really can't explain to people unless they've done it themselves or see you do it. But it's funny because sometimes I question, like, man, I'm 48 years old, and we might have a show where it's like you're playing for a handful of people because the promoter didn't promote the show well, or it was bad weather, so not a lot of people showed up, whatever the case may be. And you're like, sometimes I have that like existential crisis, like, what am I doing? But at the end of the day, it's like, whether we're playing to like a packed house at a festival or just a few people, it's like, it's still, at the end of the day, it's like the most fun energy release, stress release that I can even, describe to somebody.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite shows, though, the empty ones.
Tom loves the
I'm that guy
goes
that's still
more
out on the
after
couch at the empty shows, bumping into people because,
Yeah.
Gosh,
I mean, we've had our share of shows where we're just playing to the other bands and the staff at the venue, but that's the way it is when we all started when we were kids, and even as adults, it's going to happen.
Any show that I can get in the bird pick is a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, we do have anyone that follows our Instagram probably knows that we have something we do at every show about midway through our set. Brian invites everyone to give us a middle finger, and we take a picture of the crowd flipping us off, and it's a lot of fun. So one day we're gonna get Tom into that.
Oh, I
picture.
got in
No,
two.
Tom got in two.
I've
Oh,
been
you
in
did?
two
You were in
already.
one.
I was in one of them.
You were at the Ska Fest.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yes. The last Pioneer Valley.
Yeah, one was a Cherry Street show, one was a Hucky show.
Mm, I
Yeah.
remember that now.
Yeah, we call it the flying of the birds, and
Yeah.
it's just we've done it at one show we missed, but every show we've ever played, we've gotten that picture.
Yep.
So
That one we missed was early on, though. So
yes,
okay.
it was like our second or third show. Yeah.
So it wasn't a ritual yet, it wasn't a tradition.
Not yet.
Not really.
No, yeah, now it's a tradition.
It's a good way to trick people into coming down to get close to the stage too.
Yeah.
Then you guilt them for trying to walk away.
They don't need to know the
Cut
trick.
that out.
Shows are a participation event. Like, if you're not getting in there and getting nasty and having fun, then you're doing it wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Whatever you can do to get rid of the splash zone in front of the band.
Yeah, seriously. I'm like, why did you come here? Come on.
We got another co-host, Janice. I was having a good talk with her last at Camp Punk last year. So the reason why I go full tilt in the pit is because the bands are putting everything that they got into their music, into their performance. Putting on a show for everybody to entertain us. Like, we should be giving it our all to show our appreciation. And that's just my way, is jumping off of stages.
Yeah, that's a good way to approach it. I mean, we talk, for us, like, we're just talking about shows that might not have great attendance or anything, but it's, even if a few people are there to watch you, if you give anything less than 100%, you're cheating those people out of a good show. And, we always put everything out on the table when we play, no matter how many people are watching us, because even if there's 5 people watching us, those 5 people are going to go to their friends He'd be like, "You fucked up by missing that show."
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Because you should have seen this band and the show they put on.
Right, because sometimes we go a little harder.
Yeah.
Without
Yeah.
people there, like we'll try
I got to get my
Fuel
shit
of
out.
ballast.
I like that. Harder shows for more intimate crowds, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially when they're dancing, even
Yep.
if it's just one or two people.
Mhm.
You guys were saying you're in some other bands before you started the Agonizers. What were some of those other projects?
Me and Shane used to be in a band back in like the late 90s, early 2000s called Flip You For Real. We were like again like a punk ska band. Theo, you were in a
Back in the mid to late 90s, I played in a band called Catch 13. It was kind of like heavy hardcore, like 90s hardcore stuff. We actually, funny story about that band is our friend Scott Lee, also known as Ogre, used to book shows, like hardcore shows all over, like every weekend in Western Mass, mostly at Pearl Street up in Northampton. One of the best local clubs in that time period. And they were putting together, so Shadows Fall, you guys are probably familiar with Shadows Fall, New England metal band. They got, fairly well known. We actually put out a CD on Lifeless Records, which was a local hardcore label, and Shadows Fall was the first full-length release, and we were the second. So for a brief period of time, my old band was label mates with Shadows Fall. So all good guys. And they've gone to do other things. One of the guitar players is in Anthrax now. Other guys are doing other things. Yeah, so that's kind of a funny story. But anyway, to get back to your question, so that was my first band that really got me into clubs and playing in the local hardcore and punk scene. And there was a Connecticut hardcore band called Line of Fire. They were kind of like older, like faster hardcore. When that band broke up, some of those guys and myself, we started a band called Crash Davis. Fast hardcore punk stuff. We put out a record. We actually went on tour back, and that was like 1999. But ever since then, I mean, I've been active in music. I lived in Nashville, Tennessee for 5 years. Played in a psychobilly band. I mean, my musical taste is like all over the place. So I listen to it all. I try to play it all, but it's so always staying busy with music. Like Brian said, it's it's like therapy for us. So, and Tom, same way. It's we just we have that weird thing about us where we don't want to give it up, and it's not weird. It's it's weird if you don't understand it, but it's so for me. I've been active in music almost my entire adult life.
Right, like all the time you get to work and like, how was your weekend? You're like, I got home at 4 a.m.
Yeah,
from the
exactly.
show.
Yeah.
You're like, how do you do that? You're like, I don't know, I just do it.
Exactly.
just do it.
Muscle memory, anyone?
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you, Tom?
I mean, before this band, I was in a band with Shane called the Excitement Gang originally. Then we added a keyboard player and it became So Long Liberty. That was more traditional ska. I didn't know how to play ska back then when I got to it. I was playing punk stuff and I had to learn quick, but Shane's good at telling me what he wants to hear and I'll just play it. Be like, Shane, what do you want to hear? He's like, this. Play it exactly like this. You got it. But yeah, I mean, I was in high school bands, nothing that did anything before that. And yeah, the first real actual band that we did a lot playing out with was the Excitement Gang and then this band.
Have you all had the same role in all of the bands you've been in, or do you play other instruments? Is it always the same?
I can play anything. I've played bass in a band before. I sang and played guitar in my original high school band. But I love drums, so I don't really want to do anything else.
Yeah, like myself. I started off when I was a kid. I wanted to play drums, ironically, and I never took lessons. I got a cheap drum kit and I could never play it, and I got frustrated. So then I was like, you know what? I want to play guitar, and then I got a cheap guitar and I actually learned how to play it.
You did it wrong. I didn't take lessons either.
Yeah, I know. I missed something, but yeah. So I ended up playing bass out of necessity, like a lot of bass players do. Because there was just a saturation of guitar players everywhere. So
I need to get in the band.
somebody has to play bass. So that's in that first band, Catch 13, I was talking about when I first found those guys. We were all in high school, and I was like, Yeah, I can play bass. It's 2 less strings than a guitar. So, but yeah, it's always been my favorite instrument. I play guitar in other bands as well. I play upright bass in a rockabilly band part time. So, um, but yeah, the bass is always. It's funny because I got into it like just because I wanted to be in a band, and that was the key. But I actually really do love the instrument, and I try to make it not boring. So hopefully it works.
Yeah.
Well, what about you, Brian? Any that Shane didn't mention already?
I'm in way too many bands.
You're in way too many right now.
Yes.
How many?
I also sing for a band called Ghost Tones. I don't know.
Oh, I really? I didn't know that.
Yes. Yes.
I didn't know
I sing for Ghost Tones, and then I also sing for a cover band that kind of just started called Carson Daly City Train.
I saw
Um,
this
and then
somewhere.
we do like old, like anything Tim Armstrong related and TRL related. So yeah. Um I just love to sing. Like I kind of got into bands just on a joke accidentally
Uh-huh.
back in the 90s. I started in a ska band called Jimmy Scooter back in the 90s. And basically I saw an ad that was at like Barnes and Noble. Remember you used to do the things where you used to rip the little thing off and call the number?
Mhm.
So there was like ska
Yeah.
band looking for a singer, and my buddy was like, "Hey, wouldn't that be funny if you sang for a ska band?" I'm like, "Yeah, that would be really funny." So he was like, "You should take the number and call it." So I did. I called it, and I was like, "Hey, I'm interested in singing for your band." And he was like, "All right, you're the singer." And I was like, "Oh, okay." He was like, "Yeah, come to practice." And I'm like, "Oh my god, if these guys don't want to hear me before they like stay, like these guys are gonna suck." So I went to the first practice, and it was actually pretty good. And that's like how I started being in bands, like literally because my buddy was like, as a joke, like, "Wouldn't that be funny if you sang for a ska band?"
That
And
is
that's
hilarious.
how I
I
like
love that.
started singing in bands, like back in like back probably like it was like 96, 97. Yeah.
Huh.
So, and I've been singing in bands ever since.
I've never asked a band this or band members this during an interview, but now I'm curious. Who is your favorite vocalist besides yourself? Honestly, obviously.
My favorite
Yeah,
vocalist.
who's your favorite
Um,
vocalist?
I mean, I'm gonna have to say It's a tough. It's a tough. I can't pick one, but I'm gonna say Cooley Ranks and Vic from the Slackers are my two
Okay,
favorite vocalists of all time.
two is
Like
acceptable.
those are my two favorite. Yeah.
Cool.
It's hard to pick between them both because they're both different, but yeah.
Who's Tom's favorite drummer?
Oh, obviously Travis Barker. Can't go wrong with Travis
Okay.
Barker.
You
Things he
know
can
he
do with the
almost
drums
played
is
for the Suicide
insane.
Machines, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
Almost.
Theo, favorite bass player?
um, All-time favorite Cliff Burton. But I have kind of like a top three. Marshall Lytle, who played for Bill Haley and the Comets, upright bass player. And even though it's cliche because every punk rock bass player in the world loves him, Matt Freeman from Rancid, obviously, Op Ivy too.
Best singer right there.
Yes.
Yes.
Not for the bass player, but for the vocals. Scratch that part. No, I mean, so some of the stuff Matt does on the bass is just ridiculous. Obviously, like, so I'm on this Facebook forum. Like, the only real reason I even go on Facebook anymore is for Marketplace and the Punk Rock Bass Players forum. So it kind of turned into like the Matt Freeman fan club for a lot of the members. So it gets a little tiresome, but you got like he's one of the most like emulated bass players in the punk scene, and it's for a good reason too. I think as long as guys and girls who play bass stay away from trying to copy other players, I think that's where a lot of people fall into that trap. Is like, having your favorites is great. Don't try to sound like them though. Don't try to be them. That's the trick. So definitely, I would say that's my top three bass players there: Cliff, Marshall, and Matt.
Cool.
We've heard that from other people before too. They would sit there and agonize over
He said agonize.
Yes.
the sound of a song or something like that, and because they wanted to sound like this, or they're trying to emulate this band, or they were listening to a lot of this, they were trying to spin off of. But until they put more of themselves into it, that's when they were really happy with it, and that's when they were finding that that's when they were getting the most success out of their music.
Yeah, because you have to like what you're playing. Like we don't write for other people really. Like we write like what we want to hear. Like, do we want to hear? Would we listen to this? Like,
right.
And then again, we're influenced by these people and these bands, but it doesn't mean like we're like trying to make it sound exactly like, it just naturally happens because that's what we're influenced by.
Yeah, I had a person ask me once, like, you listen to your own band's music? I was like, of course I do.
Yeah,
if I didn't like it, I wouldn't want to play it.
Exactly. If I didn't like our own songs, why the hell would I want to be in
what
this
am
band?
I doing?
Speaking of songs,
This is your brain. This is your brain on Ska. This is your brain. This is your brain on Ska.
Yeah, we've got a great segment called Brain on Ska where we get into the lyrics of some of those songs. And I figured some of you guys' last singles would probably be the ones to talk about since, the freshest, obviously the ones that have been working through.
I'll walk right now.
So Across the Bear was the last one that you guys
Yes.
you're really excited right now.
Oh, it's just funny. It's just a funny song. It was one of the first songs kind of that we wrote, and it's just kind of like a meme.
It
in
went
our
real
band.
hardcore instead of what we normally do.
That's why.
Yeah, it's before you get into like the lyric part of everything. The reason we're all laughing is when you mentioned that song is because it's become a very divisive song within the band.
It's my favorite song.
It's Tom's favorite song. It's Theo's least favorite song.
I love playing that song. It's so fun to play for me.
So the thing about that song is it's got parts that like everyone sounds good playing their part, but as a song, it just like and the crowds have spoken, and
they have not spoken.
No, it's been mixed every time.
It was not a good response. But anyway,
you just wanted it to not be a good response.
Don't listen to Theo.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He just plays bass.
You'll see.
So tell us a little bit more about the meaning of that song, at least. Maybe something the crowd can't speak for.
That song was basically just kind of written about like how just everybody has kind of shit that is weighing on them. Everybody carries this thing around with them or something around with them that is going to weigh down on them. And nobody really cares. Basically. Basically it's like, yeah, you got shit weighing down on you, but so does everyone. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what that song is like pretty much about. Like it's like, yes,
this is your cross to bear.
It's your cross to bear. You know what I mean? But like everyone's got their own, you know what I mean? It's like, yes, there may be struggles, but like, don't feel like you're the only one, that has these problems or has just shit weighing down on you, because everybody has that shit. You know what I mean? Like, and kind of just push past it.
Yeah.
Who wrote the lyrics? Did any specific one of you write them or all together?
I think I wrote all the lyrics to that song. Yeah.
And nobody was like, no, you have to take this part out and put this part in.
Well, Shane probably did that a few times.
He probably did. I probably don't remember. There's probably things that were changed, but yeah.
No, I think that's a good message because, I mean, yeah, everybody's got their own cross to bear, but it's okay to vent, but you can't expect people to like be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry for you. Like,
yeah, exactly. Not that you're being like calloused or like, but yes, like,
we all are trying to escape our own things, and you want to help people. Don't get me wrong. I'll be there for anyone, but I kind of get the message.
Yeah. don't make yourself an easy target.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It ain't easy.
Yeah.
Being easy.
No, Easy,
Easy
Target,
Target.
was one of the last ones you guys released as well. What can you
Yep.
tell us about Easy Target?
Well, it's a good casual punk tune.
That definitely is a good. Yes, it's been described as a casual punk tune. But yeah, that song's basically about don't it's just not kind of has a double meaning. Yes, it is about like actually being a target for like it kind of came out of the whole police brutality and all that stuff, but it also has a double meaning. It's like just don't target me with your bullshit. Basically, you know what I mean, like just don't again is about don't just because you think I'm like nice or kind or whatever, like I'm not like an easy target. I'm not something that like you can take advantage of just because I may be nice to you or take your shit or whatever. So that's kind of what that song kind of has, like a double meaning about. God, man, I wrote these songs a long time ago.
So you guys,
There's a
You guys
theme
are-
between those two songs, though, is there not?
Yes.
Well,
yeah, there is a kind of a
yeah,
theme between
the-
those two songs.
the theme is those are two songs we don't play live.
Yeah, but it seems like somebody might have been burnt by somebody, like, yeah, trying to take advantage. I don't know, or seen it happen to someone for both of those songs.
Oh, definitely.
I'm in your crosshairs with no place to hide. I can feel the anger as it builds inside. Now that I'm the target of your misplaced hate, we need to resolve before we seal our fate. Point it to me, you're staring through me and it's itching for a release. Well, ain't it something? Thought you were bluffing, but now tell me how you keep the peace. Why do you draw your guns on me? Why do you draw your guns on me? Now you point the finger and shift all the blame. Well, it seems the past has just become fair game. Well, I don't know why I'm the only one to stand here in silence as you aim the gun. Point it to me, you're staring through me and it's itching for a release. Well, ain't it something? Thought you were bluffing, but now tell me how you keep the peace. Why do you draw your guns on me? Why do you draw your guns on me? Look at me, do you see? Just another easy target. Look at me, do you see? Just another easy target. Look at me, do you see? Just another easy target.
I write a lot. I write a lot about. I don't write a lot of about a lot of happy things. That's kind of like my thing. I like to write. I like to write punk and especially ska songs that sound happy. But I like to write really like depressing kind of lyrics.
Are you what's emo ska mio?
Yes.
He's growing his hair out for the swoop right
Yeah.
now. No, I mean, I think obviously Brian writes the majority of the lyrics, and then he'll work with Shane too, because Shane does sing. I mean, we all in this band, we all do backup vocals, but like as far as main vocals, Brian takes the majority chunk of it. Shane also will sing some stuff as well. He and Brian really gel well together vocally, and also with the lyric writing process too. So, but I mean, I think most of it, because we're all in the same room when all this is being done, like as a group, so a lot of it is just real life stuff. It's not, you know, fantasy or just silly lyrics. I mean, whatever, if that's what bands want, that's fine. But, a lot of it is just real life experience. And, at our age, we do have more experience to draw from. So, whether it's good, bad, or the other, it's real talk.
That's really what music's about. It's therapy. And I think people are looking for something to relate to. They're not necessarily looking for happy lyrics. They're looking for something that hits home with them and, resonates with them. Or they can take a different message from a song than someone else may even, but they're looking for some kind of connection with music when people are listening. At least I do. I'm speaking for all people. I don't know if they're all the same as me, but that's what I do.
Yeah, I mean,
I really like the heavy-handed lyrics to where they do have a double meaning, and there's more underlying to them. And I feel like that is a common thread in our society is to take kindness as weakness, and try to take advantage of people that they just because they're willing doesn't mean that you can go too far with shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I was saying. Like, yeah, don't take kindness for weakness, because that's not what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I've been guilty of being a people pleaser and going out of my way to help people out when it's more than an inconvenience, and then I wind up getting pissed off because I don't feel like they're gracious enough and grateful enough for everything that I did, and it's like, what the hell's the point?
Yep.
And
no, I hear you, man.
Yeah, we gotta be able to draw boundaries. At least I do. It's a hard lesson to learn, but that's the type of experience that 40 plus years will give you after a while.
And once you learn it, you know it. You're not going back. Like I knew when I learned that, because I used to be a people pleaser, but not anymore.
Yep.
Nope.
My 40s have been my best. It's when I've been truest to myself. I feel like it's crazy.
Hell yeah.
Sorry,
Lost a friend.
So lost a friend, yes. Yeah, lost a friend is about, again, you would think it was maybe about losing somebody, like death and everything, but it's really just losing touch with people because, again, you get older, life gets busy. I've done it with a bunch of people, like just people that I've been it's basically what I wrote the song about, is people I've been friends with that I just like kind of lost touch with, that I don't connect with anymore, just because, again, life, you get old, kids, job, and you just kind of lose touch with like people who are really important to you. And that's kind of what I wrote that song about, just like losing touch with like people, and really kind of regretting not having these friendships with these people that I've had, basically for no reason. Just because, again, shit happens, and
just one day you stop talking.
Yeah, just one day you're just like, you talk, you used to talk every day, and then you talk once a week, and then you talk once a month, and then you talk once a year, and then it's like, holy shit, you have a 5-year-old? What the fuck happened?
Yeah, exactly. I get that. I really get that. Time goes by so fast, and you just don't even realize how long it's been since you talked to someone.
Yeah, exactly.
And you think about calling them, and you're like, "Oh, wait, it's been, how long has it been? I'm not calling them first." Yeah. It's sad, but we do that, right?
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, I know, again, people can relate to that. It's, again, a life experience that I had. It's just something that I, sometimes things that I regret, and I just thought it'd be good to put it to some music. And that's a funny song too. That song has like evolved like a lot since we first wrote that song. Definitely.
I'm curious, what was the first song that you guys wrote at that first practice?
So the first song that we came up with was Ancient History, which is also the first song on the EP.
Yep.
I think Shane had some guitar parts already laid out, and when the four of us first got together for the first time, I think he and Tom had already kind of worked
Yeah.
out the intro and how like the verse was, and I came up with some bass parts, and it just flowed super easy, and it just felt natural to the point where that was kind of the that was kind of the point where, at least for me, I felt like, all right, I think this is going to be a good fit for all of us, because it just everything flowed, and that song and our other song "Give and Take," which is also on the EP, those two songs just like it's almost like they wrote themselves. It just felt super natural, super easy, no crazy effort and nitpicking. I mean, minor tweaks here and there, but I mean, we just came up with these songs like, and it just felt natural. And
Yeah, those weren't
it
ones
was like
we
it was gonna
tore
work.
apart 3 times before we
Yeah,
had the final product.
yeah, like those songs. If you go listen to the EP, it's like that's pretty much how they were written in the beginning. But yeah, Ancient History was that very first one.
And that was on a comp in 2021, Hidden Gems, I think it was called.
Yes. I know I submit everything to any comp that's on.
Yeah.
You don't
I can't
even know it.
remember
I
what
just
comp
told
we've
you.
been on.
We might be on a comp we don't even know about.
Yeah,
Dude,
probably.
wait, you were on
It's
two
harder when
comps
they
that
ask.
year. The one comp was incredible. Like, I never heard of it until I was researching for this episode. What do you know about ska punk? It was
Oh
from
yes, yeah.
2021, and there's like your song was like number 131, and I don't even know how many songs there were. It was huge.
Oh
I
yeah.
was like, how come
Yep.
I never heard of this? I need to listen to this now, so I'm gonna put that on my list. But lots of
Yeah, I
great
think there's
stuff.
like 3 or 4 of them. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, this was volume 5 to be exact.
Yeah.
Maybe I was
Yep.
looking at all the volumes. I don't know, but I saw number 131 and I was like, how many fucking songs are on this thing? I gotta check this out. But that looked good. It looked to me like that was probably a COVID project because it came out in
Yeah,
21.
it definitely was. It definitely was. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there
People
were
were
there were
able
actually
to-
many COVID projects in the works with. I mean, that's like when you think back to it, a lot of bands, especially full time bands who couldn't tour anymore and make money, bands had to be creative and do things, and we actually kind of, we jumped on that as well. Not only just taking the time to write songs, but we did a music video where we all shot our own parts at our own houses.
Yeah.
For a song called, what was it, Out There?
Out There.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so we
see,
did Out There.
It's the only you can only get that on the EP.
Yes, yes.
On the actual record, nowhere else.
Yeah,
That song Out
Yep.
There is on the 7-inch. It's the only way you can listen to it.
And
is
it's not
getting this-
streaming anywhere.
It's not
Well,
streaming anywhere.
if you go to YouTube and watch the video, then you can.
Oh
listen to
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And the video is kind
You
of cool.
just told
because,
everyone not to buy your vinyl, Theo. Come on.
no, you
gonna cut
got to
that.
buy the record. You got to buy
You
the
gotta
record.
buy it. It's really
If you want the
pretty.
cool colored vinyl, you got to buy the record. But
Yeah, it's very cool.
but I bring up YouTube as well, because it's, you talk about like some of the first songs that we wrote, and like some of the songs that we still have out there. If you Little shameless plug for the YouTube channel, not that we're really heavy content makers on YouTube, but you can find some early iterations of some of our songs on there where we did like little DIY videos just of our practice space, and playing some of these songs. And if you listen to the version that came out on the record, it's like, oh, these are pretty different sounding songs.
I think the first version of Lost a Friend is on
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like we were talking about Lost a Friend. Like, it's way different that
Right.
video on YouTube. Yeah, than like
You
what
just
we actually.
keep it changing on the song and improving on it.
Of course, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
once we try to stick to, if it's been released on an official release like this, the 7-inch or the CD,
Mhm.
we try to leave it alone after that.
We're not going to record it unless we're positive it's
Yeah.
the done version of the song.
Right. So the full length album, that's not on vinyl, correct?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, but
So
there's
any-
plans for that to be on vinyl.
If any record label
Hopefully.
is interested in working with us,
Record labels that are watching us.
you know where to find us. But yeah, that's we've definitely been discussing that since day
Okay.
one with that record, or with that album, I should say. So I would not rule out a vinyl release sometime in the future, hopefully.
Yeah, we're definitely going to look at. We didn't really release that as a record. It's
Mhm.
really we just released it all as singles.
I was
but that's
watching the whole time and listening the whole time.
yeah. Like, so that's kind of what we're trying to do. So we're gonna try
Yeah, that
to
was kind
put
of
it out
cool.
as like a whole record. Basically, that's the next step for that. But yeah, we
So
just did it basically as singles because, I mean, sometimes like people don't really listen to like whole records anymore, and it's just kind of the way people listen to music nowadays. And just to get a little bit, get a little bit more traction on it, and
Gave
always,
us stuff to release
yeah,
for a
always
full year
having
or
stuff
two.
coming
right,
out,
something new to drop here and there every
yeah,
month or
something new.
so.
I mean, but yeah, so like we are definitely planning on just hopefully getting that out on vinyl,
So
because
you're planning on getting that on vinyl. Did you also say you're planning on releasing your next album in the same way, or did I misunderstand that?
yeah, we probably are. I mean, it's just a little bit easier. We don't have a whole album recorded. I think we have about 3 songs, new songs right now recorded. And we're going to be working on recording about probably like 4 to 5 more.
Yeah, I think we have 3 more written,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not recorded yet.
I think
Yeah.
it's fun that you do it that way. It keeps people wanting more, really. And then a month or two later, you drop a new one, and it's a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. It's just, yeah, that I thought it was just like a fun like thing to
Mhm.
do, and just again like
And different
um
because not everyone's doing it that way, so it makes you stand out, in my
yeah,
opinion.
exactly. Like that was just like kind of an idea we came up with, and it really did work, because we, again, people keep talking about it, people keep listening, and then, like I said, then now hopefully we can get the whole record out on vinyl, and that's like really, really fun. I can't wait for that.
How many variants we talking here?
Oh my god. I want
we'll have fun with that.
I want all the variants.
We actually have for the real collectors out there, we did for our record release for the 7-inch, we did a limited edition cover. I think there was 25 copies of those.
They're
So
gone.
that was
Yeah.
they're all sold. But I mean, there might be some limited stuff, on the horizon.
Can always do another limited.
That's true. That's true.
Uh,
There's some test presses floating around, so you never know.
When you design your own covers.
Yes, exactly. So, but yeah, I mean, it would be great to collaborate with any of the indie or DIY labels that want to work with us, and maybe press that full length on vinyl, and have some fun with it, and just put out a cool record.
The thing about DIY though, if you're feeling lazy on a particular day, you can just call it limited edition and be like,
Yep.
Yeah.
there's only a few available.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's how we do our t-shirts. Like we have t-shirt designs like, oh, I only found like 10 of this color shirt, and we just do this like, hey, there's only 10 of these shirts. That's it.
Yeah.
That's done. That's
When they like the keychains or the gibbets that we
Yep.
did, like
yeah, Tom, we made the little gibbets for Crocs.
Oh my gosh! Oh, the
Nice.
things that go like in the little holes.
yeah, we have Agonizers
You know what they're
ones.
called? Gibbets.
Yep.
Yeah, gibbets.
I
Yeah, I
never.
didn't know that.
Well, I don't have Crocs, but I never heard that. I've seen
You
that.
learn something new every day, right?
Sure do, especially on Ska Talk. Oh gosh! So new music, pre-recorded songs. I'm sure you're constantly working on them if you want to release them that way.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
we definitely don't rush the songwriting process. We're pretty particular about if a song gets released. I think like Tom mentioned, that's the final version that we liked. And a lot of those songs have gone through. Some songs just come out of the gate, and it's like, they almost write themselves. Some of them do need a little more work, but we don't release anything until we're 100% on it. So yeah, we definitely, and that's the other thing about, DIY. This is not our full-time gig. It's something we do because we love to do it, and it's fun, and we want to keep it that way. So we don't try to rush through it. We're going to do whatever it takes to really put out a good, I was going to say good product, but that sounds too fucking corporate. So, we want to put out good music and put on a good live show, and just have everyone that listens to us or comes to see us just be like, all right, I want to do that again, or I want to hear that again.
Yeah, keep doing what you're doing then. What do you guys do for a living? Like if you had the opportunity where someone's just like, oh, we're gonna take you on tour for 2 or 3 weeks, would you be able to do it?
Um, I mean, we probably could do it depending on how
Would someone be like, I'm leaving my job for this?
I mean, I would I would in a heartbeat. But
Depends on what band it is,
like,
then I guess, right?
yeah, depending on what it is.
So,
But
what band? This is my next question. What band for each of you does it take for you to quit your job to go on tour with?
oh my god,
Rancid.
That's a tough
yeah,
one.
Rancid.
Rancid one.
If Rancid was like, come on tour with us, yeah,
Rancid?
I would. Yeah, I'd be like, of course.
Behind.
I mean, if they're going to pay us enough to keep the mortgage payments up and the utilities on,
Oh yeah.
it would have to be something pretty big. But you know, I don't think any of us would want to tour with a band we absolutely despise just for the just for the experience of going on tour.
Yeah,
So
no, absolutely.
yeah, I would agree with
Michael
these guys
Graves.
there.
All three of you said Rancid?
Wait,
that
what
what
did he say?
No, I said like Michael Graves.
Oh yeah, yeah,
thought
we're doing
all-
Proud Boys 2025. Keep a lookout for that tour.
Oh my god. We actually got asked to play a show that he was the headliner on, and we're like, nah, fam.
Yeah.
Nah.
Who is this person? Who are you talking about?
So he was
Misfits.
one of the yeah, go ahead. He was one of the Misfits singers that after
Oh,
Dan
that
Demiro-
guy. Fuck him. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, he's like a super,
exactly.
right,
Fuck him.
I
right
saw
wing
all
Proud
about
Boy
it. Yeah, I saw all about that
Yeah.
shit. Fuck him.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You guys got the festival coming up. What other shows you got lined up for this spring, this summer, and on the horizon?
We're gonna be opening for the Toasters in May.
Ooh, that's
In
good.
Connecticut. Yes.
Fun.
We're psyched for that. We got a couple other kind of bigger shows that we can't really say anything about yet. Coming up in June. But yeah, we usually like to play like one or two shows a month. And that's pretty much what we got going on. Like I said, Ska Fest, Toasters. Again, we're gonna have another big show announcement in June.
Yeah, next month we have that benefit show.
We're playing a benefit show next month in Connecticut for the homeless. So
Nice.
we're gonna it's gonna be an awesome like punk rock show. Just collecting donations and money for like local homeless shelters and stuff like that. Which again is like something that we're all about. Like I said, just helping people out. Anything we could do to help people out, especially play music and help people out. That's like, hey, that's two birds with one stone right there.
Yeah.
You're doing what you
And-
love and you're giving back somehow. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
and all of our shows are always up on our Instagram page. We always try to promote the hell out of it. And I mean, not only do we do that every Friday, Brian.
yeah, tell everyone about the every Friday thing.
He does the heavy lifting on Six Set. But I mean, we try to promote everything we do to really make sure that the word gets out. And if anyone was like, "Oh, what advice do you have for younger bands?" Like that would be it. Just promote the hell out of everything you do, and
practice.
your scene and the scene that you're in. Help out with other bands too.
Practice.
And
Yeah,
practice.
that
and
was
get
one
good
of
at
our
your instrument.
questions, Theo. That was one of our questions. We do want to know, like, what message do you have to the, people coming up in the scene who want
Yeah.
to keep it going and play music or maybe do something else in the scene. Maybe they don't play music, but they just want to keep the scene going. What's your message? He already gave his. How about you, Brian and Tom?
I mean, promoting. If you just want to be part of the scene and stuff, promote any like friends bands or any band that you think is cool. It's just getting the word out there is the way to go.
I promote everything I love, and I'm not even in a band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing right there.
That's actually
that's
how I
what
found you guys was through your Six Set because
Mhm.
I know I said in my thing, like, you find a ska band who covers Face to Face and you're an instant fan.
Yes.
I was a fan before I saw that, but that just was perfect.
Well,
I discovered
like-
through Six Set.
like I was saying, Brian, he does the legwork on putting out the Six Set post every Friday, so I'll let him talk about it.
Yeah, we I think I'm about to come on 150 weeks in a row of Six Set. So basically 150
years,
weeks
almost?
ago, we were like, what can we do just
To help the scene.
to help the scene? And that's not like, again, we all have jobs and whatever. Like, what can I just do that's like, easy or whatever to help promote the scene? So we were like, what if we just start promoting all the other local punk, ska kind of hardcore shows that are around Connecticut and Massachusetts? So we actually have a song called Six Set, which is like our ode to like playing shows. So we were like, hey, we should do a post like called Six Set and just like show and put up a bunch of flyers of bands. And I started doing that, like I said, 150 weeks ago. I've never done anything that consistent in my whole life. I've never missed a post 150 weeks in a row. Every
Wow.
Friday I've done it. But basically what I do is just I put up flyers and I tag all the bands and I put up flyers of all local music shows from around ska and punk first, and then I call it ska punk and other junk roundup because
they'll be like metal shows or
metal
hardcore
show, just any kind of
Right.
any kind of local music that is kind of scene driven.
Something that seems interesting.
Yeah, and I'll throw it up on there. I love that. It makes my job a little bit harder. I love that Instagram has now 20 slides. It used to be like I used to have to like pick and choose like pick and choose like sometimes like who I what shows I would put on there or not. It would sometimes be difficult for me, but I'm glad like that I have like a lot more that I could put up there every week. So yeah, we just started doing that. I just do like a funny cover of like, usually I try to make it like pop culture, like ska punk kind of references and or just shit that I like think is funny. I love pro wrestling, so I do a lot of pro wrestling covers. But yeah, so that's just what we do, and people really responded to it, and people really liked it, and that's why I kept doing it, because I'm like, this is awesome. I was at a show one time, and a dude came up to me and was like, hey, I just moved to the area. I had no friends. I saw your Six Set post. I went to a show that was on it. I made all these friends. Now I'm going to shows all the time. I was like, dude, that is like exactly the fucking reason I did this for. And when people tell me stuff like that, it just like makes me feel so good in my heart, because like that's the reason that I did it, and that's the reason why we do it.
And when you think about it, like social media in general is so self-serving. When you look at people's posts, it's hey, look at me, look at what I have, look at what I do, and if you think about like someone sharing something that you're putting out, like whether it's music, playing a show, whatever it is, but someone who has absolutely nothing to do with it, like helping to spread that word, like that doesn't happen a lot. And when it does, it's like, oh shit, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Right.
So it's like, it's like Brian would say, like even like weeks that we don't have shows, that still goes out, because if people are seeing that every week, they're going to be able to be like, oh, every Friday, I'm going to know what local shows are coming up this weekend, so I can check that out and maybe see something that they weren't aware of, and help get some people involved.
Right, because sometimes you have no plans for the weekend. You're like,
yeah,
what am I going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's, and like I said, that's what we did. Again, just support each other, support all the local bands. Like I said, that's just what we're about, like building that scene. Because again, if somebody goes and sees a band that even if we're not playing, they go to see a band, they're like, oh, I like that band, maybe we'll play with that band, and then they'll be like, oh, I'm going to go see that band, and then they'll see us. Like, it's just it just helps everybody. If everybody like had that mentality, it would be like such a stronger like scene and community, and like so that's just like, that's why we do it. That's how like just came to be. Like, what can we do to help, or just something small we could just do, and it just turned into this cool thing that, like, again, I've just done forever.
And you obviously care about it, so it's nice when people do.
I care so much about it. Like, sometimes it's like,
you come close to the wire.
I've come close to the wire a lot of times. You don't even know. Like, I have a alarm on my phone. I have an alarm on my phone that says post 6 set every Friday, and sometimes that shit goes off, and I'm like, fuck.
You remind yourself every.
But I'm always curating. I do it like I have folders on my phone. Like, I'm constantly getting flyers and putting them in folders and by date, and so I'm always
You
kind of
never
ready.
stop. I
Never
get it.
stop. I never stop. I love flyers too. Like I just love looking at flyers anyway. It's like some of my favorite art. So
Who designs your flyers? Do you design your own?
depends on the show. We do like a lot of us, I mean, I know Shane, Tom, and me are actual like artists. Like we draw and like
Cool.
do graphic design and stuff.
Yeah, I suck at drawing.
But it just depends. But yeah, we do our own flyers. I started this year trying to do flyers just for shows in general because I love it. So I've like drawn a couple flyers and done a couple flyers for some shows.
Right, and sometimes you'll have a show where we get a flyer and it's a little hard to read. So
Yeah.
it's just easier to recreate it for yourselves.
Or sometimes like if you're gonna post the same, if you're try to promote your show, we like to do a few different flyers so it's not showing the same exact thing on your like feed all
Four
the time.
posts in a row of the same exact flyer.
Yeah. So we'll like kind of make our own flyer just to make it look different, and so you're not seeing the same thing.
That's really awesome. I know personally, I've found that if I ever want to be supported, I gotta be showing support for other people. So,
Exactly. Yeah, you can't expect just to get everything without giving stuff. You know what I mean? You gotta reciprocate.
Give and take.
Yep, you gotta give and take.
Yeah, you can't.
You got to give and take, and it's
That's right.
sorry. It's really nice when what you're giving and taking is something you love, though, and you're passionate about. And not everybody finds that, and it takes some people a really long time to find it, and they eventually do. So if you do find that, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like like I said, I just love what I do. I love ska. I love punk rock. Like it's just I can't not do it. I just can't not do it. I can't.
Till you're 90.
Yep, till I'm 90.
Yes.
I want to be skanking with my cane. Like
break 2 hips on the dance floor.
Exactly. That's how I hope to go out on the dance floor. Actually, that would be awesome. Not for everybody else around me, but
die right on stage.
Gotta write a song about it.
Who was that did the stage dive last year at This Is Not Croydon? Was that?
Oh, I think it was Punk Rock Ryan. Do you know Punk Rock Ryan?
No, I think it was Roy Ellis.
Oh, I thought you asked who did the stage dive at This Is Not Croydon Fest.
No, like
Roy Ellis stage dive.
Yeah, during Hub City Stompers. No.
Hey, what are you talking about?
Talking about skanking when he's 90 with a cane. I mean, Roy Ellis off a stage is not that far off track.
When was this?
It was at Croydon last year.
You're talking about Marcus with the cane?
Marcus, who it was?
It's Marcus from Punk Rock Saves Lives. He's love you, Marcus.
No, it wasn't
You're
Marcus.
You are old, and you have a cane, and you stage dive and crowd surf with that cane. And you almost hit me in the head a million times, but I love you.
No, it was not Marcus that did.
It was
that.
not.
No.
Okay.
No, it was during the Agrolite set.
I might have missed it. I don't know.
Oh, you're talking about that was Supernova.
No. It was that. This is not Croydon.
Was that Supernova?
I might have missed this.
He was at Supernova as well, but I want to say
it was at Croydon too. Oh,
yeah.
Man,
I remember Punk Rock Ryan, though, took a stage dive off the stage during a Suicide Machine song, and he was told by Jay Navarre to look before he leaped, but he still dove where nobody was.
Yeah. I wound up coming down on somebody's shoulder, going cockeyed.
Wait, maybe you did it first, and then he said, "Look before you leap," or something.
I jump back up, and Jay's just kind of doing this number, like, well,
it's
the risk you take
for no reason.
Oh, what a fun time! Fun time. Get there one day. I'm telling you.
We're a little excited for it. If you guys can't tell it all.
Yeah, we are very excited.
Yeah, no.
4 days away, and it's been a long winter with no shows for me. Like, I've been to some, but just a few. So I'm ready.
I'm done with winter.
Yeah, we're ready for it to be over too.
Yeah, ready to get this show season moving, festival season moving, and yeah.
Are you ready for categories?
Yeah, that's where I was going to go. You want to do that?
Let's do it.
You see that we're both doing it tonight?
I see that, but you didn't get
Kind
any
of fun.
questions, so I gotta have to. It's normally your thing.
I'll go first.
Go for it.
So we like to end with a game. Well, I don't want to say end because I'll give you a chance to plug what you want at the end. But we like to play a little game. Do you like games?
Oh, of course.
Absolutely.
Oh, good. So we're playing ska categories. Nothing to do with categories. We just like ska puns, and it works.
Who does
It's
it?
really just rapid fire questions. Just give us the first thing that pops in your mind or your favorite thing, whatever the question is, and it's just fun and quick.
All right.
My
Let's do
favorite
it.
question to ask everyone is a little more serious one, and that is, what is your dream collab? What one artist, any genre, would you want to make a song with?
Oh, jeez.
It could be one artist, one band, whatever.
I mean, me, right? I mean, it's Cooley Ranks. If
Oh,
I
I
could do a
thought you were
song with
going
Cooley Ranks,
Rancid. Okay.
I would have went Tim Armstrong.
I'm Cooley Ranks all day. Like that
Love
is
it.
I love him, and I would die to do a song with Cooley.
I know
It's
Cooley.
gonna happen, right, Cooley?
Cooley, you are listening to us, and Brian would love to do a song with you.
And he's
He
not
knows.
even all that far away.
No, he's
No,
not.
I said I just saw him the other day.
And he already knows.
Yeah.
He
He knows.
wants to collab with him. Knows Cooley calls him out.
Yeah, he knows. Again,
So
I've been seeing
he already
him
knows you want to
30
do this. You've made it clear.
Oh yeah, he knows.
So what's he holding out
we went-
for?
He's Cooley.
We went
He's
to
busy.
that backyard thing, and he was like, "I knew you would be here."
Yeah, he played in somebody's backyard like 15 minutes from me, and I found a way to show up there, and he was like, "What the hell? How? What?" He's like, "Of course you're here. Of course you're here. Every show."
That's great.
What about you, Theo?
I don't know, man. That's a tough one. I think with this band, I would have to say the Agrolites.
Oof.
Just because we've always kind of like dipped our toes, and I'm talking to like practice and songwriting. We've kind of dipped our toes into like, what would this sound like as a reggae song? And like we have some music that actually would translate really well, but
We're terrible at it.
Yeah, we're not reggae musicians. So
You need some help, you're saying, from the Agrolites.
yeah, but I mean, I've been a fan. I know these guys have too. I've been a fan for a long time of theirs, and I think that would be a lot of fun to really get together and just do something with those guys, and just to see what it would sound like. Even would be exciting.
Well, I will play Eric since he is not here with us tonight.
Wait a minute. Did Tom give us an answer? I mean, shortly. He said I would.
Oh, yeah, I definitely said Tim Armstrong.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought you were answering for him. That's who you will pick?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, you're guaranteed a single on Hellcat, so I mean.
Yeah, for real. I like the way you think.
If you could be any farm animal, what would it be and why?
Ooh. Farm animal.
Barn cat.
I was just thinking that.
We've had that answer before. I want to know why.
Oh yeah, because you just do whatever you want.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was the same reaction we got on that one, I think. Okay.
Yep. No rules, endless supply of mice.
Yep.
I got to agree with Tom actually, because that's what I was thinking when he said it.
I don't know. Maybe I would like to be like one of them, like prize horses, though, because you get treated like fucking royalty, get brushed, fed, massaged.
Oh, you break a leg.
Just a breeding horse.
Yeah, breeding. Yes.
Speaking of horses, would you rather have
Stone.
100 rubber duck-sized horses or one horse-sized rubber duck?
Oh, definitely one horse-sized rubber duck.
That's
Yeah.
easy.
Everybody that drives a Jeep has 100.
Tom,
I have two. I have two.
You too. You're up.
What was the first CD that you bought? First record?
I do first CD I got was actually first CD.
Oh, it could be a cassette. Does it have to be?
Yeah, I
a
was gonna
CD?
say we're all old enough to buy
Yeah.
tapes.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
Whatever.
not Tom.
Tomato, tomato.
First album in any form of media, whatever you want to call it.
All right, Brian.
I said I actually remember the first CDs I got.
Okay.
2. It was Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2.
How old were you?
Oh my God. I can't remember. I cannot remember.
I think I was in high school when that came out. So you weren't that far behind. You know,
No,
like
let's see.
You
seventh
gotta
grade.
look it up.
Well,
right?
I gotta
Seventh or
look that up.
eighth grade.
What year did that come
All
out?
right. All right. He's looking up Guns N' Roses now.
Yep.
I think mine was Alkaline Trio.
Which one?
God, you're a baby.
Yeah, dude. I think it was the self-titled album.
Awesome. That is my favorite. Actually, my favorite Alkaline Trio song ever is on that album. It's called Cooking Wine.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
It's my favorite.
All right. What year was it?
91.
There you go. Yeah.
So how old was I? God. 13? Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, you're older than
91.
me. Damn.
I was 4.
91. I started high school.
I was 4.
And Tom was 4.
And I thought you were younger than me. Darn.
I'm an old man.
My first acquisition was a cassette tape of Van Halen's 1984. And I remember I played that tape to death, and I would bring it out in my driveway where I grew up. We had like a circular driveway with like a little stone wall around it, and I would bring out my little boombox and I'd throw that tape in the boombox, and I would ride my skateboard around the driveway, just listening to David Lee Roth go nuts, and Eddie's solos, and that was like my gateway into rock and roll.
Nice.
Cool. I always love that question. You know what other one I really like, Ryan?
What one?
Where's the weirdest place you've ever woken up?
Oh, jeez. The weirdest place I ever woken up was West Virginia.
Now
Just
am
in
I
Where did you go to sleep before you woke up?
In West Virginia.
Oh,
And then I woke up there and it was like, this place is fucking weird. Place is fucking
I
weird.
guess you've never been to Ohio?
No, I've never been to
Me
Ohio.
neither, but I've been to West Virginia.
No, mine was probably like somebody's backyard.
You didn't remember?
No.
Yeah. Just some random person's
Yeah,
backyard.
I think so.
Yeah.
I actually have a funny story about waking up, not realizing where you are for a minute. So one of the bands I was in back in like 2007 through 2010 was a punk band called The Caps with 2 P's. We did a couple recording sessions. We put out a demo, and then we did a full length CD, and it was at a studio up in Berkshire County called Black Coffee Studios. And anyway, so I would play guitar in that band, and I had just finished my last guitar track, so I was done. And the bass player was he was fond of the drink. We'll say that. So he had brought a bottle of Maker's Mark to the studio, and I finished my last guitar track, and he's like, "You want some?" I was like, "Hell yeah, man!" So I took a shot of bourbon with him, and then our other guitar player was doing his tracks, and I took another shot of bourbon because I was done. I was enjoying myself, having a good time at the studio. Pressure's off. Took another shot of bourbon. So anyway, I got pretty sleepy apparently, and I fell asleep on the couch behind the recording equipment and where the engineer sat. So they all thought it would be funny because I was like out cold. I was sound asleep. I was exhausted. I was, a few shots of Maker's Mark in. And so they all thought it would be really funny to turn off all the lights. And because it was a studio, there was no glass windows. So there was no daylight or anything. So they shut off all the lights and all went outside. And there was a cordless phone set, like, because he actually had a studio phone line for people to call. And so all of a sudden I hear a phone ringing, and I wake up, and it's pitch black, and I don't know where the fuck I am. And I'm like fumbling around. It's amazing I didn't break something, like trying to like figure out, like get my bearings, figure out where this phone was. It was ringing, and I had no clue where I was. I thought it was like thought it was morning at my house, but I couldn't see anything. And then they all bust in laughing their ass off. So that was probably the weirdest wake up I ever had.
I want to change mine. Mine was actually almost the same.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was 19 in a band. We were recording. I had already tracked out all the drums, so I didn't have to do anything the next day. I went to a graduation party and drank until 6 a.m. And I got picked up by my band, went to the studio, passed out on the couch, woke up to a weird guitar solo happening.
Look at that.
Had no clue. There was a stool next to me with a couple Advil and a glass of water.
See, we have more in common than we just found out we have more in common than we even thought. Drunk at the studio.
Seriously.
All right, so if you guys could play anywhere that you wanted to, real or imaginary, where would it be?
Oh, wow.
Could be the Death Star if you wanted to.
Ooh, Mos Eisley Cantina,
Dude, yeah, that's
Fuck
it.
yes. Yes, I would love to play the Mos Eisley Cantina.
That would probably be the ideal fantasy
Right? Hell yeah.
fantasy venue to,
Yeah.
because you never know what shit's gonna go down.
Best retro
No.
vibe ever.
I
Definitely
definitely
a rented
I
vibe.
definitely get my hand cut off there.
Yeah.
You know I would. You know my hand would be cut off.
Tell me about this place. I have no idea what you're talking about.
All right,
Star Wars.
So the very first Star Wars movie,
Very upsetting when you had to say that.
where Obi-Wan and Luke meet Han Solo and Chewie.
Okay.
I would
Yeah, you know.
play that on,
You would have to do
play that
that.
on
for
mute.
that.
That's your intro for this episode,
I
right?
think you need horns for that one, don't you?
You do.
Yep.
We'd get the alien horn players. Sure.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that would be the fantasy venue. Real life venue though, if it were still open, the Rat in Boston, and CBGB for this band.
Oh,
That would be my 2 bucket list for
Yeah.
venues that no longer exist.
CBGBs.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. I do want to give these guys a chance to plug anything they want to plug that's coming up for them, whether it be a show, a new single, a comp, I don't know, anything.
I mean, all we really have to plug is our shows that are coming up, but I really just plug our Instagram page, at the Agonizers. That's where you'll find all the information about what we're doing,
Okay.
what we got going on. That's where Six Set is posted. If you live in the Northeast United States area, I mean, I really only post shows from New England because that's just kind of our local area. But again, if you want to see some cool flyers, come check out the page.
If you want to make a cool playlist on Spotify, go for it.
Yes, if you want to add our stuff to your Spotify playlist, go ahead and do that. Like I said, we're all our music streaming on everything. Anywhere that you're streaming music, we are there.
Yeah,
You
as far as
mentioned-
social media goes, like really Instagram is it's the most band friendly. If the original version of MySpace still exists,
Oh my goodness, that'd be
been
awesome.
number one
Yeah.
still. But unfortunately, we know that's no more. So yeah, finding us and following us on Instagram, that's huge. If anyone listening wants a physical copy of our 7-inch EP, Bandcamp is the place to order it. It's in our link in bio info on Instagram. But if you go to bandcamp.com and just search the Agonizers, you can find it there. You can also digitally download both the EP and the full length, or order physical copies of both of those as well. And that helps us out. Again, we are a DIY band, so any money that we make, we're a bunch of old guys except for Tom. He's almost middle aged, but we're not doing this for the money. We do this because we love to do it. We don't take personal cuts, from anything that we make. All the money that we make as a band goes back into whether it's recording,
Merch.
putting out music, putting out merch, whatever it is. It's all, it all gets recycled back into the band and keeps us going, and helps us be able to continue on and do what we do.
The
Labor love.
glamorous fucking punk life, right? I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
DIY till we die.
That's what makes the best bands, I think.
And I
Unless we
believe
got a lot of money
Bandcamp
from our
started the
label.
Bandcamp Fridays again.
Oh, Bandcamp Fridays, yeah. That
Yep.
just
So
passed.
first Friday of the month, if you go on there and download a digital
Yeah.
copy of the record, then all those proceeds will go to the band rather
Yeah,
than
we get all the monies. All the
Yeah,
All
all
reminder.
$4 it will cost you.
A reminder to our listeners out there that streaming does not make bands money. It's a convenient way for you to listen to music. But if you can buy music on physical media or get out to a show or buy a t-shirt or I don't know, even share the band's stuff on social media, that helps much more than streaming a song. And
Exactly.
Yeah.
we always like to
Exactly.
remind everyone.
Share, tell your friends. You know, that's basically what it that's what we've been talking about. Like if you like it, tell people. Like
Right?
basically that's what you got to
Shout
do.
it from the rooftops and get out to a show if you don't go to shows because
Yes, get to a show.
Yeah, get to a
you're
show.
going to
That's
have
what
so
I'm-
much fun. Like, even if you go by yourself, you're going to leave with more friends than you came with. I can promise you that with the Coliseum.
I'll be your friend. Come to see it. I'll be your friend. If
Seriously.
you have no friends, come talk to me. I'll be your friend.
So, be the scene, because if you don't be the scene, there ain't going to be a scene. We all need to be the scene.
Yeah.
That's right.
Each
That's
other
right.
up.
If you want to have a scene, be the scene.
That's right.
You got to be the scene. Anyway, thank you all for coming on. I hope that our listeners know they can find us. They found us somehow listening to this, but we like to remind you to subscribe or follow on YouTube and Spotify because we do take the time to interview the bands and the bands take the time to talk to us. So we all want people to hear it. So go follow, subscribe, listen
Yeah,
to
like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah. Like
the
I said,
interviews.
we'll share your stuff as usual. Like I said, you guys, we love what you do, and again,
Thank you.
we super appreciate you guys having us on. Like,
Yeah. Thank you.
seriously, like I'm so like again, I can't.
Yeah, we're gonna
give
work out a
gratitude
live
enough
show
for having us
soon.
on.
Coming. We'll bring you down here. It's gonna happen.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and we'll get down there for sure. Like I
Yeah,
said,
for real.
we want to get down there and see you guys.
Uh-huh.
Maybe we'll come out to Michigan.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Just
Michigan.
Provide me with a good time. I'll put a show on together just for you guys.
Do I have to drive, Tom?
Yeah.
I don't know,
Try
it's
not
not-
to drive.
It's not that bad of a
I
drive.
have to drive to Michigan.
You'll have people come out and see you in Michigan. I can promise you that. That
Oh,
seems.
absolutely.
You want
It's
to
an
talk about
easier
healthy
flight.
scenes? Michigan's a healthy Coliseum.
Yep.
Yes.
I suppose I could use a backline bass amp.
We all got one. You got yours too. I see it weighing on your shoulders as it drags behind you. You could care less if it's holding me down. Now you're responsible.